backs are against it, and our fans are probably a bit quieter than theirs. It's down to us to lift them again, and I put that pressure on myself. It's down to me to lift it, and we did that as a team. I thought we were outstanding, and we got back into the game and won it.
I thought it was me putting pressure on you all the time. Come on, Morgan. I don't know. Quickly, when you get a chance to run, big man, I'm like, go on, son. You take them on. You go and take them on and press yourself onto the game, and you did that tonight. Really, brilliant. I know you bagged a hat trick in the end, but to get the first 2 goals, you must have been absolutely flying at the time.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I've never scored 2 goals in a game in my career, so
really?
Yeah, I knew it was something been on my mind for a while. So yeah, it was nice to start the game well. Yeah, as I said, it's really nice. Obviously, I've never had that experience, that feeling before, and to do it on this stage, I suppose, in a big game that we knew we needed to win is something I remember.
The gaffer wants you to play well every week. Wants the team to play as a unit well every week. Was it more about the result tonight than necessarily to the performance? I'm sure he never said that.
No, he'll never say that.
I'm thinking about the game plan, but at the end game in the Champions League, all the games are on at the one time. You're thinking, what's the only thing we need to do here? Yeah,
just get the result at the end of the day. The manager will always bang on about how we need to do it and do it in his way and the way we want to do it. But yeah, ultimately it's about the 3 points and about what that table says at the end of the day. And thankfully, we're in the right part of the group. Yeah.
And you've probably been told all the stats already. I know that you've just been talking to TNT there, but the fact that you're the first player in Champions League history to score 2 goals in the opening 5 minutes, I mean, that is unbelievable.
I must have done that.
I
must have done that.
Take a back seat on this one, Alan.
It wasn't the Champions League.
Yeah, is that why? Yeah.
That'll do it. But were you aware of any of those stats until afterwards?
I've just been told that. I had no idea. I'd have watched a game where someone would have scored too quickly, but yeah, crazy.
And then to add a third, of course, at the end as well. We are talking into dreamland.
Yeah, kind of when the keeper came out, and I was trying to just calm myself to make sure I put it in the net, and I kind of slipped at the end as well. But yeah, luckily I've managed to put it in, and yeah, that feeling is something I'll never.
But to get back into the game again there, after they managed to get their 2 goals back into it, we talk about character all the time of this team, and they have abundant amounts of it. But just how important was the character in that moment?
I think it comes from the manager. I think because he's so hard, so demanding on us, we demand on ourselves, and we knew first half wasn't good enough in the sense of there's no way we should be coming in 2-2, but we're in that. It was done. So we had to wipe it clean in the second half. I thought we were even better. I thought we controlled the game probably that slight bit more. Yeah. I think we cut their few moments that they had in the first half to a minimum, and I thought the second half we were on their throat, probably should have scored a few more. So that is down to everyone. It's down to the manager, the staff, because they're relentless and we need to be.
And I just want to ask one more question. Now that you're through to the last 16, how much are you looking forward to the next stages?
Yeah, hopefully we get a bit of a break and not playing every 3 days first.
That was probably the biggest
and then we'll tackle it when we're ready to go. A few players that we need back and the squad to shaping up again, and yeah, we'll be back and ready to go again.
Oh, Morgan, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it so much. And we will be catching up with you on the podcast next week as well. So looking forward to that, Morgan. Thank you so much. A big thank you then to Morgan Rogers for his time after he's just done a stint on TNT, taking the time to come and speak to us as well. Jed, I mean, first and foremost, he's an imposing individual, isn't he?
He is. He's a big old boy, yeah. And he just spoke really well there as well, didn't he? Yeah, he's a lovely lad. Yeah.
He is absolutely flying. Yeah. Inside, he is still like bang, 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 bang. He's still. He'll be lying in his bed tonight at 3 in the morning like that. Bang.
How could you?
High on adrenaline
after a night like tonight.
Well, exactly. And incidentally, he deserves all the plaudits because it's not been easy. And he talks about going through spells in the game when things are not going for you, and the manager's obviously speaking about it, and I speak to you all the time, and we do it. I'm talking about there'll be times in the game when this is going to happen, and it's going to rock you on your heels, and you're going to be like, oh, hang on a minute, how did that happen? We were in control a minute ago, and that's when you want character for players, to want to get on the ball, to do the right runs, to get into the box, to play the pass, to make them feel a little bit uneasy even though another team's got into the game, and I think that's what they did really well. And by the way, he is a unit.
He is, yeah. And what I loved about him tonight was even when things didn't quite go his way, he was still trying to get on the ball, trying to make things happen, and that's the character exactly you just talk about there.
Exactly, and the strength of him as well, to just be able to go past players that he shouldn't be. He's got 2, 3 on him, because we know that people are starting, or other teams are really starting to cotton on to Morgan Rogers, the Morgan Rogers effect, and they are targeting him. Just as soon as he's on the ball, he is just pounced upon by 2, 3 other players. So he's going to have to deal with that, and teams getting wise to him as well, but he's rising to that challenge.
He is, yeah, and the position he plays in that number 10 role, you know, it's a lovely little pocket of space there for him if he gets it and he can make things happen. But as you say there, defenders are trying to stop him getting that space to make things happen. So yeah, he's a clever player, and he'll try and find space in other areas.
And I think he's still learning, Jed. You know, I don't think I think there's plenty more to be working on. I think even though we're happy at the moment, we're in a lovely place with the football club, with the team in the Champions League, with the players like Morgan we've got. I do think there's more for him to learn. And it's impossible for him to pick it up right away. But as games like this evening and other games even from last weekend, that's where you become a football player. That's where you become a top football player. That you don't let it get you down too much and you keep doing the right things. And he's still learning the position, by the way. Don't worry about that. Still learning the position, and hopefully with a bit of luck, certainly for Aston Villa, he'll get better.
And it wasn't completely plain sailing today for Aston Villa. We had the early injury to Matty Cash, which was so unfortunate. And of course, because of the defence is so depleted as it is at the minute, to lose another one. But again, Villa are able to adapt. John McGinn comes in. Lemaire Bogard drops back. John McGinn then in midfield as well, who only played, 20 minutes the other day, did he? So
he did well, Bogard, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Really did.
Considering I think we start as a 2 and the gaffer changes it a 3, I think, and went wing back and put Ezra in the middle. And by the way, Boubacar Kamara, and I know I adore Morgan Rogers because I'm convinced he's got more to give Aston Villa, and I see such a player in him. Boubacar Kamara was absolutely unbelievable. He's asked to play a position, not a problem. I thought he was really good.
He was really good. I think he played centre half in his early days.
Did he?
Yeah, when he was younger, but not for years. But he looked like he played there every week there, didn't he?
And he's good.
Rolls Royce.
But he's also, when he gets on the ball, Jerry, he can pass the ball and he sees a pass. And he's okay about playing the little ones, but I like that one that he wants to clear the lines and get everybody out so we can play it up. And I thought Ollie Watkins was fantastic tonight in his hold-up play, making it difficult for centre-half, and he's an out-ball for us, and that has to be sometimes, because Celtic pressed us tonight, didn't they?
They did.
And almost cut us down a couple of times.
Yeah, they did. And when teams come pressing so high up the pitch, having Ollie Watkins up there, 1v1 at the back of a centre-half, you know, all it takes is a little bump to the centre-half and he gets the ball to bounce and he gets his body in front, and that's us up the pitch.
And Ollie Watkins on the score sheet as well. So if you can cast your mind back, it feels like we've had a flurry of action since then. But to Ollie's goal as well, well taken, right place, right time, just Ollie Watkins in a nutshell.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what he's so good at. You know, being in the right place at the right time. He's a goal scorer. And look, he was unlucky with the penalty. I'm sure he'll be blaming the groundsman.
We've all been looking for him to be
Yeah, exactly. I think they're hide-and-seek champions at the moment, those groundsmen. But yeah, Ollie's such a good striker. He's such an outlet for the team, and you know, you see that he starts every week and he puts a great shift in, and you know, he can do everything. He can come to feet, he can run in behind, and he scores goals, and that's why now he's one of the best strikers in the Premier League.
Especially when you're having to deal with so much speculation off the pitch as well. It's so unfortunate that Sky Sports News delivered a news story that happened to feature him then in it. Of course, like it's been battered away anyway.
I believe that, by the way.
No, it's just frustrating timing that all of these lads are having to deal with in January. But Ollie, again, mettle of the man, has come through that and given
I don't think he was particularly in a great mood on Saturday. I saw him just really briefly, maybe more down the fact that we'd only drawn 1-1 against West Ham. But like you said, he's dusted himself down. He's gone through the trial of missing a penalty tonight and slipping at the wrong time, and then he still bags a goal for us. He'll be kicking himself. He hasn't got 2 goals tonight, but then that's what you do as a striker. And although the big man quite right called him, as a top Premier League striker, I think he's a top European striker. I think he gets into a lot of teams in Europe, and if we're going to be a big team, Aston Villa, then we need to say to somebody, look, if you give us £1 billion, we might think about it. Otherwise, leave Ollie Watkins alone.
Yeah, and he, of course, was a huge part, getting the assist for Morgan Rogers' third goal as well. And we talk about often the selfishness, if that's even a word, of strikers. But we had 2 there who were happy almost to let themselves take it then between Ollie Watkins and Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers got on the end of it in the end there. But again, Ollie Watkins, right place, right time, ball across.
Oh, you've got a good memory.
I know.
I'm trying to cast my mind back on the first goal. Never mind.
It was a very stressful time, so my brain's kicked into overdrive.
But it was something the boys had to do. They had to keep trying to create the chances, and if you get opportunities, then put them away. To be fair, we probably could have scored more goals tonight.
Yeah. Schmeichel made a couple of really good saves. He did. Yeah, he did. But on the third goal there, Ollie Watkins didn't give the ball up. You know, he's pressing the defender. Yeah. It's a short back pass. He's there to nick in front. And yeah, he does the unselfish pass and gets Morgan Rogers' hat-trick.
Yeah, so job done then for this stage of Aston Villa anyway, because I don't know if you had decent Wi-Fi, but trying to look at the Atalanta result, especially when they went into extra time and then some because a player was injured during that.
I'm going to ask you this live here now. Did it finish 2-2?
It did.
It did, yeah. So that was good for us then, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's
so
all I need to know.
yeah, that's what we needed, is Villa to win and to Atlanta to, well, at
Not win.
best. Yeah, basically not win.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's a better way of wording it. Much better way of wording it then. So through to the next round, don't have to do the knockout game. So what can we expect, Jed?
Well, hopefully a good draw, you know, because...
That's the next part.
Yeah, hopefully a favourable draw. Any game in the last 16 is going to be a tough game, but... You know, here at Villa Park, I'd always fancy our chances in the home leg, and then away from home, it's trying not to get beaten. And you know, and yeah, you just never know. Unai Emery's so experienced in European football, and he knows how to set his team up to get through these rounds. And you know, we've got to trust him again.
Exactly, we're going to trust him again. And it is true, his track record is unbelievable, Unai Emery in Europe. He just knows how to set them up. The lads rise to the big occasion as well. So we will know our fate. I was trying to do the workings before we went live, but I couldn't quite figure it out, though.
The other thing, of course, is I think Morgan just mentioned it briefly, was about they'll get a week off almost, or a 2 week off. It's not, you're not getting it off, but you're getting it off to a certain extent that you obviously don't have to play.
Now, an extra guest for us. Cillian Petrov has decided to join us.
Second half. What a great second.
I know, wasn't it?
What a night.
It wasn't easy though. It wasn't easy.
It's never easy.
No, exactly.
But job done. Job done. Villa fully deserve it, because second half was different level.
Yeah.
I think Morgan Rogers, you had him for a while, yeah?
Yes, we did.
It was incredible.
I mentioned, and it's not in an area that you played a lot, but I thought Boubacar Kamara was sensational today, considering he changes his position to play for the team and ends up playing as centre-back, as a left hand of a 3, and normally he's playing as a defensive midfield player.
Yeah, how good is to have such a versatile player that he can play different position. He had to fill in today. Yeah. He looked comfortable. He relaxed. Even Celtic had to change the system in the second half. They've put a few players on Morgan Rogers, but he looks so mature. He looks like he just moved to a drift in a different position. He find the space, and he fully deserved that hat trick. He's definitely on penalties from now on.
We won't talk about the pens.
Cillian, thank you so much for seeing us. He's going to invoice for that for a second shift today, but good to see Cillian Petrov.
Had to come and talk to us.
All the same. Oh, exactly. Had to. He's been more excited than anyone today, hasn't he? But we got the occasion. We knew there were going to be goals in this game. We got goals. We got the result. We're through to the last 16. So, Jed, do you want any final words?
No, happy days. I think in August, if you'd said we'd go straight through to the last 16, I think we certainly would have taken it. So, yeah, what a brilliant job so far in the Champions League, and long may it continue now.
Alan?
I'll let him have the last word.
Oh, nicely done.
They were all absolutely perfect.
Very gentle.
Bit like us tonight.
Bit like this show, may I just say. Perfect, just like any of us. But a big thank you then to the lads for all of their hard work. Apologies, there you are, on this camera instead. But big thank you then for all of the lads for their work pre-match and then also post-match as well. Morgan Rogers for joining us. Cillian Petrov with a little cameo as well. But all that is left for me to say is good night and up the Villa.